How to Score a Baseball Game by Charlie. So this is what a baseball scorecard looks like. A scorecard is where you would keep score for a game. You can get a scorecard at most games, but they may look a little different at each game you go to. They all have some parts in common though. This big middle area that I'm circling right now is where you put the team's batting order, what happens on each at bat, and each batter's stats. This area, which I'm circling up here, is the pitcher's box, where you put the pitchers for each team and their stats for the game. These boxes down here are where you total up the team's stats for each inning, like hits and runs. So those are the areas on a scorecard. Now I'll show you how to use them in more detail. Here I have filled out the team's batting order. For this example, I used the Yankees batting order for 2021. The batting order for the team you are scoring will be announced at the game. So in the first column, right here, I filled out each player's number. Then in the next column, I filled out each player's name, right here. And then I filled out each player's position. So positions have different labels. So 2B is second base, 1B is first base, RF is right field, DH is designated hitter, who's the hitter who hits for the pitcher, LF is left field, SS is shortstop, C is catcher, CF is center fielder, and 3B is third baseman. I will wait to fill out the columns that says sub/inning until there are any substitutions in the game. Now I have filled out the pitcher's box. Again, I used one of the Yankees pitchers from 2021. You can see that the first two boxes I again filled out are the player's number and name. So there's the number and there's the player's name. So in this section, there are two more boxes that I filled in. They're the pitcher's win-loss record and the pitcher's ERA, which is earned run average. These would probably be announced at the game you go to, but if they are not, you don't have to worry about filling them in. On this slide, the position system that you will use for scoring the game is shown. This system will become very important later. Here, the scorecard has a reference of which position corresponds to which number. So number 1 is the pitcher, 2 is the catcher, 3 is the first baseman, 4 is the second baseman, 5 is the third baseman, 6 is the shortstop, 7 is the left fielder, 8 is the center fielder, and 9 is the right fielder. So now this slide is a guide to different terms used on the scorecard to show what happens at each at bat. So 1B is a single, 2B is a double, 3B is a triple, HR is a home run, 3B is a walk, K is a strikeout swinging, a backwards K is a strikeout looking, HBP is hit by pitch, SB is stolen base, E is error, F is flyout, and L is lineout. So I'll explain these terms in greater detail later as well. Now I have filled out the first inning of the game. So on the first at bat, the ball was hit to the shortstop, who threw it to the first baseman for an out. This is labeled 6-3 right over here because the shortstop, position number 6, threw the ball to the first baseman, position number 3. You can tell that this at bat resulted in an out because there are no lines on the diamond like there will be in later at bats that I will show. So in the second at bat, the batter hit a single, which is labeled 1B for the one base that the batter advanced. Here I also drew a line from home to first base to indicate that the player got to first base on the play. In the next at bat, the batter hit a double, which is labeled 2B for the two bases that the runner advanced. I also put lines from first to second and second to third on the second batter's little mini diamond in his box to show that that batter advanced two bases on the play. In the next at bat, right here, the batter hit a fly ball to the center fielder, position number 8. So it's labeled F8 because it's hit to the center fielder, position number 8. The next batter walked, which is labeled BB for base on balls. Again, I put the line to first to show that the batter reached first. In the next at bat, the batter hit a single, so I labeled it with 1B and advanced the runners 1 base each. So again, I put the runner on first to second, the runner on second to third, and the runner on third to home. I then filled in the box of the second batter to show that he scored a run. We'll do this every time that a run is scored. The next batter struck out, which is labeled with a K because K is the last letter of struck. It was the third out of the inning, which means that the first half of the inning is over, and it is now the other team's turn to bat. I labeled the end of the inning with a line to show me where to start the next inning. Now I also went back and totaled up the stats at the bottom of the sheet. I went back to the inning and saw that there were 3 hits, 1, 2, and 3. So I put 3 in the hits box. There was 1 run, which is right there. You can tell by the filled in boxes. And 1 walk, which is the 1BB right there. So I put 1 in the walks column. There were also 3 players left on base in the inning, which you can tell by when a player gets a hit or walk, but their box isn't filled in. So there's 1, 2, and 3 there. So that's 3 left on base. So I put that in the left on base column. Now that the first half inning is over, you would then score for the other team, but for the purpose of this video, I will not. On this slide, you can see that I filled out the second inning. So the opposing team didn't score a run in the first inning, so I filled in a 0 in the opposition runs box. I started with the batter after the batter who made the last out in the last inning, since that's the batter who will bat next. So the first batter in the inning lined out to the third baseman, and that's labeled L5 for a line out to the third baseman, position number 5. The next batter hit a single, which is labeled 1B, and a line to first base to show that he advanced to first base. The next batter then hit a ball to the shortstop, who threw it to the second baseman for an out, who then threw it to the first baseman for another out, completing a double play. So it's labeled 6 for the shortstop, position number 6, 4 for the second baseman, position number 4, and 3 for the first baseman, position number 3. It's also labeled DP for the double play. These would be the second and third outs of the inning. So again, I put a line at the bottom of the inning to indicate that the inning is over. Again, I filled out the boxes at the bottom of the score sheet. So here on this side, I have filled out the rest of the scorecard. Here are a few different types of plays that I will now note. First, I filled out substitutions. So when Urshela came out of the game in the 6th inning for Odor, I put Odor 6 next to Urshela's box to show that he came in the 6th inning and Urshela's spot in the batting order. Now, in the pitcher's box, when new pitchers entered the game, I filled in their name in the next line in the pitcher's box. So now for a few plays that I'd like to note that we haven't seen before. So there is a backwards K in Rizzo's at bat in the 3rd inning, which is right here. This indicates that there is a strikeout where the batter did not swing on the last pitch of the at bat. In Stanton's at bat in the same 3rd inning right here, he hit a triple, which is labeled 3B for the 3 bases he advanced. Then for another example of a play that we have not seen before, in the 4th inning, every player in the order batted without there being 3 outs. So some players batted twice in the inning. To indicate that the next column is also the 4th inning, you cross out 5, as I did here, and write 4. Then you can proceed to do that with the rest of the innings. So 6, you replace with 5, and 7 with 6, and so on and so forth. In the 4th inning, 2 home runs were hit, which are labeled HR for home run. So those are right here and right here. In the same inning, Torres was hit by a pitch, which is labeled HBP for hit by pitch, and is counted as a walk at the end of the inning. So that's right here, HBP. In the 6th inning, Rizzo stole second base. So that is indicated by an SB between first and second base to show the stolen base. In the 7th inning, another play that we haven't seen yet is Sanchez hit a single, and then the first baseman made an error, allowing Sanchez to get to second. So I put an E3 between first and second to show that Sanchez advanced to second on an error. Then later in the same inning, Antes was thrown out between second and third at third by the right fielder. This is shown by a line ending halfway between second and third, and 7-5, for 7 being the position number of the right fielder and 5 the position number of the third baseman. So now that the game is over, I totaled up the stats for each player. For the hitters, I filled out their at-bats in this column, hits in this column, runs in this column, and runs batted in, RBIs, in this column. Keep in mind that walks do not count as at-bats. And runs batted in is when a batter hit or walk results in a run scoring. So an example of that is here on Stanton's home run. The runners who had hit a single and a double also scored as well. So that means that he batted in that runner, and himself. So that's 3 runs batted in on that play. For the pitcher's box, I would flip to the opposing team sheet that you would also be keeping. And for the first 6 innings, which Cole pitched, that's seen when IP, which is innings pitched, is 6 for Cole, you would count up the amount of strikeouts, walks, hit batters, runs, and earned runs in those 6 innings. I would count those up and put those numbers into Cole's line in the pitcher's box. The reasons why runs and earned runs would be different is that a run scored on an error is not an earned run. I also totaled up the runs for each team at the bottom, right here and right here. These stats, which I totaled up, will help to summarize how each player on the team did during the game. So that was how to score a baseball game. Scoring a game is a great way to stay involved in the game and can be used as a quick visual tool for seeing how a game went. Thanks for watching.